So y'all know how it be when the season first start off. It be slow. It don't be a whole lot going on. They give you enough to have you be like, well, what happened? Well, let me see what's going to happen later. It don't be a whole lot. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, if it's your first time here, what's up? How you doing? What's going on? It doesn't have to be your last time here. You can click the subscribe button to become a ray of sunshine. Yes, someone who lives in light and in truth, even though you can do 100 in the shade easy with your eyes closed. But to make it worth your while, you want to make sure you click the notification bell so you're alerted of all the videos I upload, because I'm trying out some new stuff and I really hope that it's working out in my favor. What's up, fam? How y'all doing? Y'all still hanging in there with me? I know you are. I love you for real in real life. So earlier, you know, we were drinking wine. I still got a little left. I didn't drink the whole bottle. So we are reviewing season number 10 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode number 2. What was the name of this episode? Say Yes to Distress. Oh, okay. I got it now, because when I saw that earlier, I was like, I'm not really sure what they mean by that. But I'm with it now. I understand. So, let's just go in the order that they started. You know, they kind of bounced around back and forth through personalities, but that's okay, because I'm going to stick with one personality all the way through, and y'all just stick with me. And the first person we started... Well, the first thing we saw was each of the ladies doing their morning routine. And each lady except for Nene. Nene was not in this episode. Guess she had some other engagements that she needed to be a part of. Okay. So, we see Cynthia, right? Cynthia is single, right? Newly divorced. And she already wants a man, honey. She don't want to be up at Lake Bailey by herself, taking no sensual bath by herself, being all gorgeous by herself. Cynthia wants her a man. Now, I don't know if it's too soon or not for her to be having a man, because you know this aired, this was recorded some months ago. So I don't know. I mean, it feels like it might have been a bit too soon. You know, you gotta clean out the old to bring in the new, because we see that Cynthia still has baggage for Peter, and we'll see why I say that in a second. So when we see Cynthia, we see her, and she is going on her date. We see her going on a date with Mr. Evan. Mr. Evan is a photographer and an editor. Mr. Evan is 29 years old, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. Mr. Evan, sir, your eccentric look isn't helping your youthfulness. Cynthia looks more 29 than you do. And we see she's 50. Baby, if I look good like that at 50, y'all ain't gonna be able to tell me a motherfucking thing. And I mean that with all the motherfucking in it. Y'all ain't gonna be able to tell me shit. But she looks great. So let's just talk about the date really kind of quick. We don't see what it is on the outside, but we see her walk in, and she's going up some stairs. It looks like it's like a house or some type of building that is actually being constructed, in the process of being constructed. Baby, I'm looking like I'm not sure if that's safe. You in your nice long gown with your heels on and stuff. She calls him and says, am I in the right place? There's a chicken coop outside, honey. A chicken coop outside in an abandoned looking building that's still in construction always, to me, seems like a horror movie ready to happen. I mean, it's wood, it's, looking crickety. I don't know if I would have walked all the way in there or not. I probably would have been like, can you come out? But we know she walked in because she had a whole camera crew. They already looked and set everything up, okay? Let's just keep it 100. They was in there. They set everything up, the lighting and stuff, so that everything could be seen appropriately. But when he comes out, he's all like, let me blindfold you. Blindfolds is cute for dates. Blindfolds is cute for dates. But I'm with Cynthia, not here where the chicken coop is, okay? Not when you got animals and shit running outside and there's a building that's in construction. Like, I'm not sure. I need to see where I'm walking, see where you taking me. And it looks like they've been out on 3 or 4 dates. So that ain't really enough dates for me to be like, I trust you enough to be blindfold me in this construction area. If we talking real life, okay? If we talking real life, we know that she had the producers and bodyguards and shit there. So it wasn't that big of a deal. But if it was regular old me, I'd be like, no blindfold. But I'll put my hands over my face for you while I peek through, you know. Y'all act like y'all don't know. Y'all didn't do it when y'all was like, close your eyes and you could see. Yeah, I would have been doing that. Well, he takes the blindfold off and it's a photo shoot. He has makeup and hair available for her. And I thought that was cute. I was like, okay, that's cute. She all like, this is not a date. You see, that's the difference between their generations. She's a millennial. He's a millennial and she's not quite a baby boomer, but close enough, like Generation X, right? So I'm just saying, I would have liked that, but because she's a model and she's used to it, it wasn't anything big for her. But it was big for him, and it would have been big for most regular girls. But I didn't like how they fix her hair. Like, she had that long sleek ponytail. Why would you put them curls in there? Leave her. There's a photo shoot. Yeah, okay, you could freshen up my makeup, but leave my hair alone, because you are not well, they're probably professionals, but they did not do a good job. You have messed up my entire look with whatever this poof shit is going on. You know they messed it up because homegirl wrapped it up in the bun. She was like, this ain't it. No thank you. No ma'am, no sir, no thank you. I don't want that shit, that bird's nest you had going on. I need me just a nice little high bun. Let me use your brush and wrap that up. So then he walks her into another area and he's like, this is normally my studio, but I've transformed it for the day. And it was a very nice setup for an intimate dinner. Honestly, I think that he did a really good job on his date. Like, that would be a good date for me. I'd be like, oh, he put some thought into it. This is nice. And then later on in the show, we see her and Noel having a conversation. And Noel's got a boyfriend. Bitch, you only 18. I mean, you have a boyfriend at 18, but bitch, you got a boyfriend in another state. You going to Charlotte. She's taking a year off from college to figure out what she wants to do. She's a straight A student, so I guess that's acceptable. But she's going to go to Charlotte, and Peter lives in Charlotte. So, you know, Cynthia feels a little safe with her being there, and her boyfriend, her permanent or long-term or long-distance boyfriend being there, her serious boyfriend being there. But here's what we know, that maybe it might be too soon for Cynthia to be dating, because she is asking about Peter, asking if Peter has asked about her, and Noel's like, no, he hasn't said anything about you. He has not been asking about you. And then she's all like, well, don't tell him I asked about him. Well, it's on video now. They're going to see that you asked about him. So it might be a tad bit too soon, because your heart is still connected. Though he did some things that you weren't a fan of, you still love him, and you have not gotten him out of your system. So that's why I say maybe she moved too soon. And then she told Noel about, you know, how she been dating and that she was on this dating app. So I want to know, what dating app are these celebrities on that they're meeting regular people? What dating app? Because that's the one that I need to be on, because all this other shit that's going, all these other fucking dating apps is beneath me. But Noel was like, yeah, he's too young for you. When she told her that she had been seeing Evan and they were friends, she was like, yeah, he's too young. He's too young. He's, you know, She looked at her sideways quick and was like, you know, if you subtract 3 years, because when they met, he was 28. If you subtract 3 years, he's half your age, Mom. Like, did she have to say that? She should have been like, baby, your mama look as good as you. I look as good as you, honey. Some of your friends want to date your mama. I'm just saying, for real, for real. Anyway, let's continue. So then we see Miss Porsha. Miss Porsha, we see her in her house, and they start talking about how she's had all this space by herself, and she's lived in this big house by herself for a long time, and she's always done that, blase, blase. And then, boom, we hear that her and her sister Laura's gonna move in. Her sister's gonna move in with her baby, with her 18-month baby, because Laura is having issues with her baby daddy. I mean, there wasn't really much going on with Porsha, was there? Not went on her own. But we see Porsha talking to her mom and her aunt in the kitchen, and her sister. And her mom and her aunt say, we were college roommates for a while when we were in college or whatever. And, you know, her mom looks really good. So does her auntie. Baby, black don't crack. It's like cocoa butter. It's smooth. Rejuvenating. So when she was talking about the interaction from the party, from Cynthia's 50 Shades of Cynthia birthday party, 50th birthday party, she was saying that, oh, she thinks that her and Candy was cool. I was like, what world that bitch live in? That we cool, like we cordial. What world does she live in? Because if she didn't speak to her, Candy wouldn't speak back. Like, Candy don't fuck with you, Porsha. Like, what the fuck is you thinking, girl? Where do you live? You do live in like La La Land. I be really trying to give you some credit because you're beautiful, but you missing some stuff or something. And then she also talks about her and Nene conversation and the disagreement or whatever. And she was like, you know, we were cool and how, you know, the same shit. You know, she said she was we should be fired and blah. I was like, girl, was you still harping on that? You and freaking Frack was a little bit, you know, it was a little bit much last season. So I could see her point as well as quite a few other people's points. But, you know, and then she's all like, she's just saying that so she could have her name buzzing and she could be relevant. And again, that might be true. That might be true. It all could be a setup. But damn, it ain't really worth us keep talking about because ain't shit happening. Y'all, you see how I'm excited about this episode? Not. Anyway, so a little later we see Porsha cleaning out her refrigerator and she's becoming a vegan. But last week she was chowing down on that meat. She talks about freezing her eggs because, you know, she wants to get married and have babies one day and she's young enough. But really, does she need to freeze her eggs? She's still young enough to have babies where the eggs don't need to be frozen. Yeah, that was it really until we see Porsha a little later, and we'll come back to that. So then we see Shereé, Miss Shereé with Phil, and when we see her, she's walking into the reception office for her life coach, Jack Daniels. Anyway, so when she walks in, I'm all like, okay, so you could tell that it's all set up. You know, reality TV is all set up because the receptionist looked a hot ass mess, and he didn't know how to be comfortable when saying hi, and that he'll have a seat right here, and he'll be with you in a moment. I mean, does that person really work in the office or no? What y'all think? I was telling my little peers at Amazon the other day, I could be. You know, I could be a personality *1 on a reality TV show, but I might even be able to act a little bit because we was practicing, and you know, we were talking about how to get away with murder. Oh wait, so okay, so she's still wearing that fucked up wig in her confessionals, like it is like platinum, neon platinum or some shit. It's horrible. It's a horrible cut. She need not wear it. I'm sure she looking at it right now like, what the fuck was I thinking? I shouldn't have wore that shit. Like she thinking that. But they start talking, and you see they start having a serious discussion. We remember last season we found out that Shereé had experienced some domestic abuse with her husband, verbally and emotionally, mentally, and of course some physical, where he put his hands on her. And she talked about it and felt like, you know, she wanted to get to a place where when she talks about it, she doesn't cry anymore, where she's able to move past it. You know, and it's something that's always going to be there, but you don't want to cry about it every time you think about it. You don't want to be crying. It's like me talking about my late husband. Like, I don't want to cry every time I tell somebody about how he died or the situation that we went through. You don't want to cry about it every single time. You want to be able to stand firm and talk about it, which means you've healed from it, you've processed it, you've moved forward. You know what I'm saying? So I can see where she's saying, and he asked her, how have you gotten along? How have you done this? 12 years, you know, you haven't addressed it. How have you been operating? Like mothers through strength and resiliency. Like when she was like, it was a facade. I was a mother. I had to be strong for my children. How many mothers can actually contest to having to put on a good face for your children so that they're happy and they don't know what goes on? I mean, That's real life. Like, you can't be walking around crying like a zombie because it's affecting your children. You have to put on the big girl panties. But we do need to learn to deal with the root of the issue so that we can move past it, talk to our children about it, and be healthy. And so he tells her, he urges her, he says, you need to talk to them. But before you talk to them, why don't you practice with a few of your friends? Practice with a few of your friends. That's your homework. So later on in the episode, we see Kandi graciously give her back house, her little house, her studio house, whatever. She's like, Ty, we don't even use this that often. So that Shereé could have her 3 good friends over to help her figure out how she's going to share this with her kids. Now, there are 2 things I want to say before I start talking about that actual get together, right? Number 1. So is Chateau Shereé not built yet? I mean, it's like 10 years now, right? Okay, maybe not quite 10, but quite a few. Is it not completed yet? Is she still in the condo? Y'all tell me, because I say that because even though, the pretense was, what she told Kandi was, you know, that I don't want, the kids are going to be home and I don't want them to hear that. But if you're in Chateau Shereé, the house that we saw, there is some space where you can go and tell the kids, listen, I'm having some grown-up stuff going on. I don't want y'all to be involved with it. We got some stuff we need to talk about. And they could never hear you. That house was huge. So is Chateau Shereé not up and running? And then number 2, when Shereé talked about who was coming, she said, let's see if I have the exact verbiage, because I did write that down. In her confessional, she said, so I trust Kandi and my friends. So to me, that's a line. Like, there's Kandi and then these are my friends. But she made the distinction, Kandi and my friends, because they only evidently personality, TV, reality friends. And I'm glad to see, though, Shereé's real friends being inserted into the show. They start to role play where Kandi is Shereé and Shereé's 3 friends are her children. And I think Kandi did a good job as an introduction of what we need to talk about. We have something we need to talk about. I know you've heard a lot of stuff going on in the blogs, blah, blah, blah. And of course, because Kandi is removed from the situation, it's easier for her to do it. So when Shereé began to talk about it, Shereé expressed how it was hard for her to really go ahead and talk about it with her friends. So what is she going to do when it comes to actually talking to her children? I mean, valid point. That's a hard thing to do. So who was next? Kenya. Cynthia goes to visit with Kenya. They eat out. And, Cynthia's like, I thought it was going to be me and Kenya, in this single life, having a good time. Because, I mean, that's what happens. Your single friend, you become single. Your single friend gets married. And then you out here on the dating scene struggling by yourself. Like, yeah, trying to figure that shit out. And you ain't really been single for a while. Anyway, so Kenya talks about... gives us a little insight on who her husband is, how he's a businessman, how he used to be on Wall Street, gives us a little insight. But she also talks, Cynthia asks, how is he handling the limelight? And she goes on to say that, she has to be his protector because he's not used to it. Well, first and foremost, he's a man. He should be able to protect himself. And you do as a woman, we are like defenders, like mama bears for everybody, including our spouses. But he can stand on his own 2 feet. You don't have to take all that on. You don't have to carry all that because it's going to make you crazy, as we saw a little bit later when she broke down and she was crying in the closet. I want to say, remember when she said, when she was talking to Cynthia, I had to take some time for myself. I had met him before we started dating, and I needed to take some time for myself and get myself together. I needed to make sure I was right. Well, how much time did you take? Because as far as we could see, you batshit crazy. And so a month, a couple weeks ain't really enough time to really get it together, unless, like we all think, this is all just a facade. Because we know you brilliant. We know we know you're bright. So unless it's all a facade specifically for TV. And if that's the case, I understand it. She also says, I just want them to leave me alone. And I thought to myself, oh, you a reality TV star. You really want somebody to leave you alone? You in the limelight. You signed up to put your business out there on the street. And on top of that, you signed up to be the batshit crazy one, y'all. To be the real loco cuckoo 5150 one, like Augusta Hawkins one. Okay? And then she said, we see her trying on her veil and shit, talking to her dogs. I'm all like, man, I don't know no woman that goes back and tries on their dress again. At least I didn't. I think my dress is still hanging up in my mama's closet. And she be talking about what you gonna do with this. And I really need to sell it on eBay. Y'all need a dress? You see her get all emotional and tells the producer, listen, I need to walk away. I need to go. I don't want to get a divorce. You got his exit. Outside forces are affecting our marriage. You got, he already did it quickly. Now, when you move quick like that, you got to expect for some backlash and some naysayers. But who gives a damn if you guys really love each other and this is something you really wanted to do? You work through that shit. Like, she's like, he already fought with his mom and his sisters and, and he's got crazy ex-girlfriends sending her stuff about my past. Well, your past is your past. And I don't want a divorce, okay? I don't want to have to get a divorce. Nobody gets married to get a divorce, but you're already putting out that negative energy into the atmosphere. So I'm here to tell you, you can't do that. What you put out in the universe comes back to you. Speak those things as if they are is really a true thing. So you can't put that out there. Hush up, Kenya. Let the world know that you love your husband and be silent. That's all. It'll go away. It'll go away. So then let's go to Candy. Candy meets Shamea at an African store. Shamea is getting married, and she tells her, we need you to dress in African garb for the ceremony. The ceremony the day before, I want to say it is. Anyway, so Shereé walks into the store and she tells her the same thing, but she's, Candy's like, yeah, I got my ticket, I'm going. Shereé's like, oh no, I'm not going. They ask her if Porsha is going and she's all like, no, Porsha says she can't go, that the tickets were 10 grand. Now, Porsha is her longtime friend from elementary school. And, I can see where that could hurt, where your friend is like, I'm not coming and I don't want to be a part of it because I ain't got no money for it, And Shereé says, well, how much was your ticket? Shereé is messy. So, and she tells you that in her little intro that she's messy. She's spilling all the tea. That's what she say in her little intro with the peach. That's what she say. And she telling the truth. That's how she stay relevant. Shereé say, well, how much was your ticket, Candy? And she say $5,000. And then Candy goes on to say, I have 7 friends, seven friends that I know that are going to the wedding. How is it that Porsha isn't going to the wedding and she's your longtime friend? So I just want you to know, you can tell that Shamea is feeling some kind of way in the store, because Shamea says, I would prefer her just to say she don't want to go because she's not fucking with me. I could deal with that. I can handle that better than I can handle you telling me you don't have the money for the ticket. The bridal shower. We are at Shamea's bridal shower down. And of course, it's always going to be awkward encounters between Candy and Porsha until they talk. And even then, it's still probably going to be an awkward encounter because, honey, that situation is more than a notion. But before that, we see Porsha crazy. Her and Laura driving in the Bentley on their way to Shamea's party. And Laura says, do you have on your is that your wedding ring? That bitch. She was like, yeah, it's mine. Nobody still wears that. I don't care if it is and y'all got a divorce. That's a memory that you just don't, you go sell it. You don't keep it. What are you keeping that as a momentum for? Momentum? A souvenir. What are you keeping that like that for? I'm confused by that. So I thought she was a little batshit crazy for that. I was like, what's wrong with her? What is wrong with her? Anyway, I do want to say that I thought that the ambiance for the bridal shower was nice. The venue seemed to be nice. It was nicely decorated. The theme of hats and floral dresses was appropriate for a bridal shower. But then I got confused because she kind of mixed her bridal shower and bachelorette party together. So I say, because there's certain things at a bridal shower you don't do. For one, at a bridal shower, you aren't having half-naked men walk around serving your guests unless it's like a pamper party. I mean, that's just me, and maybe I'm wrong. You also do not play those raunchy games like put the wiener in the hole and shake what your mama gave you at a bridal shower. At a bridal shower, it's very upscale. You know, I don't even really know. I can't even remember playing a game at a bridal shower. It's a lot of oohing and ahhing over you, a lot of chatting, a lot of photo taking. You know, that's where your mother and his mother get to come, and the grandmothers, and it's very, you know, elegant and classy. It was a little confusing. Nevertheless, it was nice. Okay, it was nice. Y'all know what a dowry is? Because her husband, who's African, who's from Kenya, he's a Kenyan, right? She said that he feels like they're already married because they have a dowry. And I meant to look it up to see what dowry meant. And I'm sure that's some kind of commitment ceremony. And she was like, oh, no, where I'm from, we got to sign the paper. We need a wedding and we got to sign the paper. Yeah, I understand that because, baby, yeah, you from where you from. But if we don't sign this paper and submit it to the court, then to me, I'm still single. I don't care what you say. But where I'm from, I'm with her on that. You saw how Kandi had gotten up from the table and Shereé was like, that was awkward. Well, you know, Kandi is not fake, and I don't really think that was awkward. That was Kandi doing what was best. She didn't want to hear the chatter of someone that she does not like and did not feel like sitting and pretending like she was okay with it. And we saw that later when Shamea came and sat with them. And Shamea asked her, are you coming to the wedding? And I'm still saving a space for you. And she was like, I can't afford it. And you know, I got this health issue. And when she said she got the health issue the first time, when she said it to Shereé, which I thought I wrote that down somewhere, but I guess I didn't. Oh, it was at the same venue, and she was explaining it to her. I was like, you could put your feet up. I know it's a long flight. You can get up, you can walk around, and there is enough room where you should be able to elevate your feet just a tad bit. But I'm sure, like she said, you got all them jobs. You can go ahead and splurge for your friend's wedding since you want to support her. As you kept saying, I'm here to support you. You could have splurged for your friend's wedding. Baby, you done lost your mind. You done lost your mind. You have. And maybe it has something to do with her relationship with Kandi or something that she kind of flipped on her. But more so how tough she was hanging with Phaedra. You know, she didn't have no space. Her and Phaedra was real friends, not just reality TV friends. I was happy that Shamea was honest with her and that she was like, I'm hurt that you not there. Like, you was supposed to be there. And that she was shocked that she was at the dowry and actually participated in it. And Porsha had her to get like a little perturbed by it. She was like, well, why do you feel like that? She said, well, we ain't been cool. We ain't been hanging like that. I mean... So I was shocked to see you there dressed and participating in the actual ceremony, like in the dowry ceremony. So I was like, well, Shamea, I'm proud of you. But maybe this, again, is not the correct venue. Number one, it's your bridal shower. And number two, other people are around. Maybe this is not the correct venue. And we know Kandi is not with it. And Kandi even said she was looking at Shamea like, she don't sound like a friend to me. Why are you still friends? Cut your ties. But as they kept talking, and what is her name? Camille, Kandi's friend, best friend, and also assistant. What is her name? Anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about. She was over there being super messy. And I'm really shocked that Porsha didn't say anything. Like, I would have had to go, like, excuse me, what the fuck is you talking about? You know, oh, yeah, she not used to having her legs down. They need to be up. I mean, she was over there just throwing all kind of shade out loud. Out loud. I just was too through. She was really getting on my nerves. And I was like, you ain't saying nothing? You can see Laura with the business, too, because she had her face all frowned up. Like, what the fuck? I didn't like the kiki ha-ha on the side. It was very disrespectful. And that's exactly why you should not be having conversations and shit of this magnitude with people around. So everybody disperses and Porsha goes to her car. And we see 10 minutes later that her and Shamea are having it out. They having it out like friends do in a space that is protected where they can have a real conversation. Like, good friends do argue and curse and yell and shit, but you be honest. But listen, she told her, I feel like you should be there, like you forgotten about me. You was hanging with Phaedra, you and Phaedra and all that fuckery y'all was doing. You was hanging with her, like you forgot about me. And some people would be like, was she hating on their relationship? Was she jealous? Well, they had been friends forever. You just X'd me out because you got a new friend. So I was glad to hear them going back and forth, but I was disappointed when Porsha was like, I really don't care how you feel anymore. Well, damn. Well, what? And Shamea said, then what am I talking to you for? Why are we still having a conversation? What is that about? I might as well stop talking to you. And of course, Porsha keeps talking, and Shamea's all like, you don't care about what I feel and what I gotta say. I gotta get out the car. Bitch, bye. And Porsha's in her feelings all like, I'm just gonna have to distance myself from all my friends. Girl, own up to some shit. Get some accountability. I can't stand when people don't own up to the part that they play in it. We all play a part, even if it's a very small part, even if you feel like you're not doing nothing. We all play a part in it. You understand what did y'all think about this episode? I mean, it was like, man. I mean, the best part was the bridal shower. Like, we could have just skipped everything else and went straight to the bridal shower. But we going to hang in there because we know that it's going to get juicy and it's going to get messy because shit's going to start coming out. Shit's going to start coming out. It all comes out in the rinse, as my grandmother used to say. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. Thank you so much for watching my review of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 10, Episode number 2. Say yes to distress. Let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments. If you're going to ride this out with me, you know I want you to give me a thumbs up so that I know you are here with me. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll see you on the next video.